Collision Radio is Backstage with Chase Coy.
Where did you start to sing? Was there a certain age or a certain place that you began your music at?
My mom has always really loved singing and been involved in some choirs and stuff. And at church, I've been involved for a really long time in choirs, and in school, kind of dropped off as far as choir went in high school, but I was really involved in the worship ministry at my church since I was 8th grade, 7th grade. I've been performing on stage almost every weekend with the worship band there until recently. So,
are you from a big church in Indiana?
Yeah, Mount Pleasant Christian Church.
Growing up in the church has helped with writing?
Yeah, for one thing, it's definitely helped as far as playing on stage. I feel completely comfortable on stage because I've just been playing on stage forever, not my own music, worship music and stuff, but leading. At the beginning, I was just playing in the band, and then I led almost my entire high school years. I was leading the worship band at least every other week or weekend. And as far as just hearing music and being able to just play live somewhere and just craft, my guitar skills and my vocals or whatever, just give me a great opportunity to be able to do that.
Do you see any possibility of releasing yourself in a Christian way, of writing Christian songs, or have you pretty much found your genre of music?
Well, the way I see it is, this is my philosophy about it, is kind of this, is that Christian music is made for Christian people, and totally not mean that in a negative way at all. But I see the kind of impacts that a lot of bands are having. These newer Christian bands that aren't necessarily worship bands or blatant Christian music, but really use that influence and let it speak through their music without preaching in a way that scares people or intimidates people that aren't part of that, because you got to reach out to people who aren't already involved in the church and all that kind of thing. And I'd like to think that one of the things that I'm doing with my music is just presenting a portrayal of relationships with people and relationships with loved ones that reflect the kind of stuff that's in the Bible and that God promotes, as opposed to a lot of the stuff you hear today, which is just trashy, to be honest. But I'd like to think that I'm the opposite of that.
Is there anything you see maybe in the future for yourself? Any place that you're always, I want to play there, or I want to do this show, or I want to tour this artist?
I really, really want to play with an orchestra. I know it's a really big. It's obviously not every day that someone gets to do that, but I think that'd be amazing just to play with so many talented people, and just I don't know if you've ever been to an orchestra or anything like that, but it's just this huge sound, and it's just gorgeous if you've ever been to anything like that.
Favorite movie for our listeners? Anything that comes to mind?
This is really lame because it's a chick flick, but A Walk to Remember is totally my favorite movie, and I don't feel bad about saying it.
You like the soundtrack?
The soundtrack, A, is amazing, and then B, if you didn't cry when you saw that movie, you're you have no soul. I'm sorry, but that is a sad movie, but it's so beautiful and just touching, and it really, I just.
How were you discovered as an artist? What did you do to get your name out there?
MySpace. I could say as much as I want about it, but basically I just recorded things at home, posted it on MySpace, told people about it, and it just kind of took off at some point. People passing it around to all their friends. It's MySpace and the people on MySpace that liked my music and that shared it with the people they knew. So.
All right, cool. What is some advice that you could give to someone who's in your shoes, who's starting out, trying to play his own music? What would you say for them?
The most important thing you can do with your music is don't be expecting to make it big or anything, and don't be you can dream for that if you want to, but the most important thing, and what's going to come across to people more than anything, is if you're doing music for the sole reason because you love doing music. If you had told me a year ago that I'd be doing this as my job right now, I would have just laughed at you, because it was just I never would have imagined that I'd be where I am. But I love making music, and that's if I can do that as my career and only write music for the rest of my life, I would be completely, utterly, and just like totally amazed and pleased with that. So
Awesome. We are backstage with Chase Coy at the Beat Kitchen in Chicago with Collision Radio.